I'm going to try tonight to take you back 67 years to actually the night of November 19th, 1945. I was 24 years old when I wrote this. The courtroom tonight is empty, darkened only slightly. It is an imposing courtroom, a courtroom whose appointments translate themselves almost at first glance into terms of austerity, dignity, and justice. Most of the men around here tonight are GIs. GIs are the 18th and 28th Infantry, two of the fighting regiments of the Fighting 1st Division. These GIs are pulling guard duty, the familiar 2 on and 4 off. Inside the building, they carry .45s. Outside, M1s. They're probably the best GIs, best dressed GIs the ETO has ever seen. Razor-edged OD trousers, spotlessly white helmet liners, web belts, leggings, and gloves. It is especially fitting that Nuremberg should be the rubberized host to this great war criminal trial. It is fitting because no other German city so symbolizes the same continuity, the same linking theme in the long dead past and the freshly dead yesterday of German history. For Nuremberg is the story of Germany, the fabric of dictatorship and the culture of a military nation. Nuremberg has been the personal city of Germany's rulers since its founding in 1050, and for 850 years thereafter. 8 centuries of tradition that compelled all German rulers to take office here. So it was only natural for Adolf Hitler to restore Nuremberg to its peculiar position in the German cavalcade. Soon after the Nazis took power in 1933, Nuremberg became the party city, the Geheilige city, the holy city of National Socialism. It was here in Nuremberg that Hitler held his first spectacular Party Day shindig, and he did it every year. That is, until April 1945, when Nuremberg gave Hitler an ironic birthday present by surrendering to the American 3rd and 45th Divisions, 91% of the city lying ingloriously prostrate before the conquering GIs. Therefore, it is to this shrine city that Germany's top war leaders have been brought. They have been brought here to face an international military tribunal because the crimes they are charged with demand international judgment, judgment different from those others whose acts were perpetrated in a single locality or against a single nation, as for example, the Burson trial or the Laval trial. Tomorrow, 20 defendants will file in to hear an indictment of documented charges, an indictment signed by the representatives of the United States, Great Britain, the USSR, and France. There are 4 counts presented in the indictment, but not all defendants are charged with all 4 counts. The first count is an all-encompassing one which claims that defendants are guilty of a conspiracy, a common plot. The second count charges the defendants with actual crimes against the peace, with planning, preparing, initiating, and waging wars of aggression in violation of international treaties. The third count charges them with the commission of war crimes, such as the wanton destruction of towns, villages, and cities. Destruction not justified by military necessity. And in the fourth count, they're charged with crimes against humanity, such crimes as extermination, enslavement, and deportation of peoples, such crimes as persecution on political, racial, and religious grounds. These are the charges which the prosecuting attorneys of 4 nations will attempt to prove in an open court tomorrow. The prosecuting attorneys who represent the outstanding and legal talent in the 4 nations involved. Our delegation is headed by Mr. Justice Robert H. Jackson on leave from the Supreme Court of the United States. Mr. Justice Jackson has said repeatedly that the trial will be no cut and dried affair, no mere formality to permit the winner to kill off the loser. The guilt of the defendants must be proved, for, as under our legal system, the defendants will be considered innocent until proven guilty. However, we will not permit a repetition of the 1921 Leipzig trials, when a German court tried German accused who included a total of 9 men, 2 of them enlisted men. The result, a total of 3.5 years imprisonment for all concerned. The prosecutors will plead their cases before an international military tribune, one judge with an alternate from each of the great powers. The defendants, who will be represented by lawyers of their own choice, fall, as players on the Nazi stage, into 3 categories. There are the high-ranking party members, usually government officials, men like Hermann Goering, Rudolf Hess, von Ribbentrop. Then there are the militarists, the members of the German High Command, men like Alfred Jodl, Wilhelm Keitel, Karl Dönitz. And third, there are the industrialists and bankers who, through their resources, made possible the conspiracy, men like Hjalmar Schacht and Walter Funk, and until he was removed from the list of indicted because of illness, Gustav Krupp. In our travels these past weeks in connection with the coverage of these trials, GIs have had one stock question when we ask for an opinion on these proceedings. Even the combat men pulling guard here want to know, why can't we just take them out and shoot them? We know they're guilty. One of the important reasons is that the guilt of the German leaders should be carefully documented. Documented as painstakingly and with such clarity that the world could never forget. But basically, there is another reason for the trial. We of the 4 nations are devoted to law and order. We do not desire to employ the Nazi way, to take them out and shoot them, for our system is not lynch law. We will dispense punishment as the evidence demands. Therefore, in a very concrete sense, these trials have a meaning even greater than the immediate importance of doing justice in reference to those men charged in the indictment with plunging the world into war. The real long-range importance of these trials would subsequently mean that we have, in our time, established an agency to which we could hold accountable the rulers of all nations of the world in years to come. In other words, just as a man today knows he will be punished for committing murder, so in the future will leaders of nations know that they will be held responsible for waging an aggressive war. And so tomorrow morning, the conscience of the world will be present in this courtroom which is empty tonight. For here in Nuremberg tomorrow, not only men, but the economic and political system that is fascism will be brought to trial. That was our first broadcast.